She was very sexy in tall heels, very short shirt, almost sheer blouse, no stockings, bra or panties. She had asked Kip to not wear his braces, and the slacks printed his very atrophied legs well for her to see. She wore her sweater into the restaurant as it was a cool autumn night. She immediately removed it after she was seated so Kip could enjoy the view. She told him how great he looked in his wheelchair and coat and tie. Salina told him she was going to eat him for dessert later, and Kip said they could share the same one with a 69. They both laughed at the thought. After Salina had finished her dinner, she said she needed to go to the powder room to wipe her pussy he had made so wet. She got up and kissed him on her way past him, and he removed the card with a ring in it he had brought and put it at her empty place. The server had just removed the empty plates. Salina asked what the card was when she got back and opened it. The card had 3 pages and she read the first 2, and when she turned the page she saw the ring in a cutout and a big "Will you marry me" under it. She gasped and looked at him speechless. He just grinned at her, and finally she said "Of course I will," and leaned forward to kiss him some more. They finished their coffee, paid the bill and left. She almost attacked him in the van before they even got out of the parking lot. She had the valets laughing at her. They finally got going and got home. After getting in the bedroom they undressed each other and got in bed. He held her very tightly for a long time and felt her tears running down his neck. Salina finally told him how happy he had made her tonight and what a big surprise it was. Kip said he was happy also and glad she was also. They started kissing and he worked his way down to her breasts. He spent a long time making love to them, then worked his way down to her pussy. She was soaked and he cleaned her up, then she came getting all wet again. Salina had a shaved pussy now. She had shaved part of it for the second time they got together for sex after they first met. She said she had read about it and saw a lot of women done that way on the internet. Kip thought it was great and he had decided he would try it also, and she shaved him in the shower. A month later they both had completely shaved pubic areas and kept them that way all the time. They took turns shaving each other as part of their sexual play. Salina even shaved Kip's legs now to get a better feel. He moved his pelvis across her bottom, forming a T with her. She had found the position on the internet in a Literotica story and told him about it. Kip lay on his side with his hard cock right at her vagina and her feet over him by his back. He grabbed hold of her hip and pulled himself in and out of her. With his penis, which was on their long side, it worked great for them. After several minutes of him thrusting into her, Kip came first and this caused Salina to come right after him. As soon as she was finished he let her hip go and fell over on his back. This caused his cock to pull out of her, but Salina immediately moved to it and put him in her mouth. He was still mostly hard and she got him harder right away. He pulled on her leg and got her to get up on him and put her dripping pussy in his face. He licked their juices until she was clean. When he stopped, she stopped deep-throating him and moved her face to his. They kissed very passionately, enjoying the taste of their cums. She pulled him on his side and she faced him, putting her arms around him tightly. Kip asked her if she was sure she wanted to marry a badly crippled person like him. She said absolutely, and that was one of the big reasons she wanted to marry him. They got married 2 weeks later, having a local judge do it and just a very few of their friends there. Kip explained things were very hectic at work right now and they could only take this weekend for a honeymoon, but he would make it up to her later. Salina said no problem, she understood. On Tuesday the next week, the sale of the big electronic part the company had developed went through, and each of the top management people became millionaires. That group planned a celebration at the country club for the following night, and that was when they would tell their spouses who knew nothing about what had been going on. The next night the first order of business at the dinner was the company president announcing what all the hard work had been about and giving each of the 8 men and 2 women an envelope. The 10 of them handed the envelopes to their better halves and let them open them. One wife actually fainted, Kip remembered. The rest of them just yelled, cried, danced around, what have you. It was a sight to behold. He laughed even thinking about it then, and Salina asked what was so funny. He reminded her of the dinner and she laughed along with him. He also then remembered how hot the sex was after they got home. For the first time they wore themselves out and he could not get hard again for some time. They really liked the house, so they decided to stay there. It was very new, but they had a few things done and put a pool in, using Kip as an excuse for needing exercise. Good tax deduction. Time moved on and it was approaching their first wedding anniversary. Kip had started planning almost 4 months ago, but he did not start with Salina until about 6 weeks before it. He said he had always wanted to go to Germany and would she be interested. Salina said she thought that would be great. Would he please do one favor for her and go without taking his braces with him? Kip said that sounded great and agreed. He said he wanted to be gone for a while and had been after her to quit her job, at least for now. She finally agreed and they set a date to fly over. Since money was not a problem, they went first class and a car was waiting for them at the airport there to take them to the resort he had booked. It was late and after dark when they got there and were shown to their bungalow. They were tired from the long day and went to bed pretty quick. After they were in bed, the lights out and cuddled together with her in front, Kip asked Salina if she remembered the wish she had told him about when they first met. She was not sure just what he meant. He took hold of her arm and she said, "Oh, you mean getting them amputated?" He said yes. "Do you still want to?" She was very quiet for a while and then said yes, she still thought about it often. Kip then said, "How would you like to do it day after tomorrow?" and Salina flipped over so fast to face him it was like a flash. She looked at him and said, "Are you serious?" and he said, "Very." How she almost screamed. He told her they were actually at a medical facility that did special kinds of surgery on request. He had found this doctor that was a very respected one, who would perform the operations and she would stay here to recuperate. "Both arms?" she asked. He said that was up to you and the doctor in the morning if you want to go see him and talk. She collapsed beside him and said it was so much to think about at once. He told her to take it one step at a time. He said the first step was, did she want to be an amputee? Salina quickly answered, "More than anything in the world other than to be with you." He said, "Good, the second step is, do you want it to happen while we are here?" She was quiet for a while. There was enough light in the room that Kip saw a big smile come to her face. She said yes. He leaned forward and they kissed for some time. His hand was on her breast and hers was on his hard cock. They kept their hands in place and he said, "3, what do you want? Gone, arm, leg, one of each, both of each, all of them." She was very quiet again, stroking him very slowly. Finally she said, "I think I know what I want done, but how am I going to take care of myself?" Kip said that was easy, he would always be there for her, whatever she needed done. She kissed him hard again and gripped his cock harder, saying she did not want to be a burden to him. He asked if he was a burden to her and she said no, then she would not be one to him, he answered. She then said both arms, the left just barely long enough for a hook prosthesis. The right one, shorter than the left one, but enough to at least wear one and use it a little. Kip gave her a big smile and they kissed some more, each stroking the other harder. Kip said, "Sounds like a plan, shall I tell the doctor you will be there?" She said no, tell him we will be there. He asked if there was anything else she could think of right now she wanted to talk about and she said no, she just wanted to fuck him good. With that she made a trip to the bathroom to get a couple of towels and pee. While she was gone, Kip called the front desk and asked that they leave a message for the doctor that they would be at the 10 a.m. appointment. He said he understood fully and it would be done. Salina came back and got on his hard cock. She rode him slowly and let her arms hang limply at her sides. Kip understood what she was doing. He reached up and took both of her large breasts into his hands and played with them the whole time. He also wondered just how it would be with Salina having no arms or hands. He said great, and concentrated on their needs right now. She was looking down at him with a huge smile on her face and gradually increased the speed she was doing him. 5 minutes later she came with a big orgasm, and a couple of minutes Kip erupted into her pussy. She used her muscles to squeeze all she could out of him and then lowered herself down to him. She still just let her hands fall beside her. They kissed and she then moved her hands up to his face and held him tightly as she kissed him. She then lifted her head and said it was going to be great that way. Kip nodded his head in understanding and she took a towel, put it under her and got off. Kip put his towel around his shrinking dick and got into his wheelchair.